What's up, guys? The final seconds of the Saints and Chargers final preseason game is currently winding down. There's about 2 minutes left as the time that I'm recording this. The Saints are up 27-10 with 2 minutes left. It's about to hit the 2 minute warning. Some guy just dropped a pass in the Chargers. This was a great game. This was awesome. If you're a Saints fan and you wanted to see some of the starters get some action in the preseason, this is exactly what you're looking to see. Pretty much everything went right, especially the start of the game. Most of this video, I'm going to be talking about the first quarter or so of the game because that's when the players we wanted to see play, that's when they played. And for once, this won't actually have to be an Ian Book, rant the whole fucking episode because the last two preseason games, he fucking stunk it up, and especially the Packers game. Oh my god, that was bad. But today we actually have some fun and exciting stuff to talk about, for us Saints fans. And that starts with Jameis Winston. He made his return to the field for the first time since Halloween. As we know, he tore his ACL against the Bucks. We have not seen him in a football game since, but we saw him today, and he looked better than fucking ever. Oh my god, he looked amazing. He went 4 for 4 for 59 yards, 14.8 average yards per attempt. He didn't get a passing touchdown, but that was because the drive was capped off by a Mark Ingram rushing touchdown. As a matter of fact, he had two of them in just the first quarter alone. Jameis had a passer rating of 118.8, something that's pretty damn good. He didn't throw an incomplete pass. The only drive he played resulted in the Saints' touchdown. It was a 9-play drive. Right at the start of the game, the Saints won the coin toss and they elected to receive the kickoff. And it was literally better than any drive we had last year. It was awesome. Everything about it was great. Jameis was throwing the ball to Jarvis Landry, to Chris Olave, to Alvin Kamara. And Alvin Kamara had plenty of good runs. He had a couple that were actually called back by holding penalties. But because, if you look at Alvin Kamara's stat line, he has 2 carries for 19 yards. But I definitely tell you at least the fact that he had 2 rushes that got called back to holding that actually went for good yardage, at least a first down. So Alvin Kamara looked great. He played just that first drive. And then after Jameis Winston had pretty much a perfect game, Andy Dalton came in for the next 2 drives. And he did score a touchdown on one of them. I believe it was his first drive that he was in. Andy Dalton went 5 for 5 for 73 yards. 0 touchdowns because Ingram scored the rushing touchdown. And Dalton also had a pass rating of 118.8. So Andy Dalton also looked very good. And like I said in the Texans game recap, if anything were to happen to Jameis, I'm very confident in Andy Dalton running the offense and doing what he needs to do. He played really well as well. All the receivers played well. They were helping out the quarterbacks. The leading receiver was Marquez Callaway. He had 4 catches for 65 yards. He played with both Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton. He might have played a little bit with Ian Book too. I'm not exactly sure. But he had a pretty good game. Jarvis Landry played pretty much just that first drive, but he had 2 catches for 35 yards, and it was just awesome to see Jarvis Landry get some action in. We didn't see any Michael Thomas, but that is to be expected because of the fact that he did end up having a little minor issue with his hamstring as he's coming back from that ankle injury. From what I've heard, it seems to be pretty minor because of the fact that there's been really no news about it since the report that we had almost a week ago. So the way I'm looking at it is that no news is good news when it comes to that ankle. Or not that ankle, the hamstring. That's really the problem here. My expectation for Michael Thomas is that he's done, obviously, for preseason and training camp and all that. I do expect to see him week 1 still, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of happens as, the weeks unfold. Because we only have about 2 more weeks until the regular season starts. That's something I'm really, really excited about. Olave caught a pass for 19 yards. And that's pretty much it for the receivers. Kirk Merritt actually also had a really good game. We're going to talk about that as we kind of get into the third quarter here, because I kind of want to tackle this preseason game kind of as the way the game unfolded, and not so much as just talking about this player, then this player, then that player. I kind of want to just go as the game goes on. So let's talk about the defense, because we did talk about how the offense started the game really well. The defense started the game really well as well, and they actually ended the game very well, only allowing 10 points. As a matter of fact, the Chargers just punted the ball back to the Saints with 1:50 left. I'm recording this early so I can try to get it out as soon as possible. But yeah, for the Chargers, there was no Justin Herbert. None of the starters really played. There was no Austin Eckler, no Keenan Allen or Mike Williams or any of that. But regardless, you play your opponent, and the Saints have looked really good. Or the Saints did look really good against the Chargers today. It was Chase Daniel for the Chargers. He actually had a pretty damn good game. He went 10 out of 11 for 113 yards. He had a really good game, I'm not going to lie. He had a dot to somebody up the left sideline that went for 30 yards against Bradley Roby. That led to a Chargers touchdown, and that would end up being the only touchdown the Chargers would score. And I can pretty much confirm that to you guys because the Saints are kneeling the ball as we speak. So the game is pretty much over. The Saints will officially win the game 27-10. and we'll move to 1-2 in the preseason. So at least we won a preseason game. That was pretty cool. But anyway, the defense, like I said, played really, really well. This defense started the game after the Saints scored a touchdown. Demario Davis got a sack on, I was about to say Daniel Jones. On Chase Daniel, I kind of got the... Actually, no, I don't know how the fuck I got Chase Daniel and Daniel Jones confused. It was because of Daniel, that's why. But yeah, like I said, I don't really know any of these Chargers backups. Jalen Guyton played, he was their leading receiver. But this, like I said, the Saints defense had a pretty damn good game. Defense was really good. Cameron Jordan played, Demario Davis played, he had a sack. Tyrann Mathieu played, I can't believe I didn't mention that yet. Tyrann Mathieu played, he actually had a tackle, but there wasn't really much action going his way because obviously, he was locking everything down. Marcus May had a few good tackles in the red zone, I remember, in run defense. So that was really good to see. Other than that, not much action going on the defense. All around, just a really good game, And there's actually something I want to talk about. I can't believe I haven't gotten into yet. There was a play when the Saints were up, I believe it was 14-7 or something. I think this was when Andy Dalton was still in the game. He threw a pass to Tre'Quan Smith. The ball goes off his hands. As he goes to the ground, Tre'Quan Smith kind of brings the ball back up in an effort to catch the pass, and it goes right into Marquez Callaway's hands, and he goes all the way for a touchdown. But the fucking refs blew the play dead as Callaway caught the first down. But he was not touched, so it should have been a touchdown. But the refs ended up... Initially, the ruling on the field was that it was an incomplete pass, but the ball was actually tipped up in the air into Callaway's arms, but they ruled it a first down and not a touchdown, so the ball ended up getting placed for 20 yards. It was really weird. Should have been a touchdown. It was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen in the Saints game. So that was really cool to see. I wish they would have called it a touchdown because it was a fucking touchdown. But whatever. Tre'Quan Smith being a bum, dropping passes as usual. And he actually got hurt in this game, which kind of sucks. I guess we need a new wide receiver 6. I guess that's where Kirk Merritt makes his case. And speaking of Kirk Merritt, this is a great time to go into Kirk Merritt. He had a really good game today. He had 4 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. He's been kind of having a different role lately. In the past week or so, the Saints have actually been moving him to running back and actually having some option routes and different kinds of routes out of the backfield. Because apparently he played some running back in high school, which I did not know. And the Saints didn't know either until meetings this week when they looked at some film from Kirk Merritt in high school, catching passes out of the backfield. So the Saints have been kind of using him in that role lately. In training camp the past couple days, Kirk Merritt has actually been in that backfield role. So that's pretty cool to see. Oh my God, the GOAT Jameis Winston is being interviewed right now, and I'm not there to see it. I'll have to go back and rewind to hear his sexy voice because, oh my God, I'm so excited that Jameis is back. You guys should be too. I wore my Jameis jersey for the first half of the game. I was so excited to see him back in action today. But like I said, Kirk Merritt had a really good game. Mark Ingram scored 2 touchdowns. Abram Smith got a lot of action today. He had 13 carries, but only for 35 yards. But he was fighting a lot for yards. Tony Jones Jr. had 8 carries for 23 yards. There still raises the question of who's going to end up on the running in terms of the running back room making the roster. Who's going to be your number 3, maybe number 4 running back if the Saints choose to keep 4 running backs. I do think the Saints will probably end up keeping 4 running backs, and what I think it's going to be, I think it's going to look like Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Dwayne Washington at running back 3, and then I think Tony Jones actually makes running back 4. Unfortunately, I don't think Abram Smith will make the roster, but you know what? That's okay. Hopefully he'll stick around on the practice squad. We keep him around because he showed a good amount of promise this preseason aside from that fumble in the Texans game. Now, since we're getting close to 10 minutes, I want to talk about Ian Book briefly. I hate to, but I actually do have to give him some credit where credit is due because he actually had a pretty solid game today. He went 11 out of 15 for 81 yards and 1 touchdown, 0 picks, and he only took 1 sack, which is really good to see. And he had a lot of scrambles today, which they didn't look brain dead for once. Usually, when Ian Book scrambles, it's because he has his mindset on running while he's scrambling out of the pocket, and he's not looking downfield. I still saw that today. I wish he would just look more downfield while he's scrambling out of the pocket. But he had 7 carries for 50 yards, which is even more rushing yards than he had in the Packers game. He had quite a bit of rushing yards in the Packers game. So this was, I got to give credit where credit is due. He had a pretty good game. Now, I'm not going to lie. He had 1 horrible fucking overthrow to Kirk Merritt wide open in the end zone. Literally butt-ass naked in the end zone. Wide open. I know I'm just a dude who's talking about the Saints, but on God, I would have made that pass wide open. I would have. Dead ass, I would have. But anyway, Ian Book had a good game. we're at 10 minutes. I'm going to try to end the video here. That pretty much does it for the Saints preseason. We end up going 1-2. And there's only 16 more days until the Saints kick off the regular season against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm really excited. I'm going to have post-game highlights coming out tomorrow. Probably Jameis, maybe someone else. We'll see what happens. Maybe Jameis and Andy Dalton. Well, we'll see. I'll have something out for you guys tomorrow. And then since we get closer to the regular season, I'm sure I'll have a couple videos coming out. I think when the Saints have their final roster coming out, I'll make a video on that. The full 53-man roster. And then might also have some more, predictions in terms of the entire landscape of the NFL, because I already did make my Saints regular season predictions, which I normally hold off on until the week before the season starts. But, me and my boy Nas had a collab, so we wanted to get that out early for you guys, and we did. So go ahead and make sure you check that out if you guys haven't. But that does it. Next recap video will be the Saints against the Falcons week 1. That's going to be really exciting. Let me know what your favorite part about the game was tonight, and what do you guys want to see leading up to the regular season in terms of content. So that does it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.